thing that's happened on Ellen just happened. Because she was talking about about phones, being on the phone and not knowing how long you've been talking and the other end has dropped. And the space ran out, and so I had been babbling and looked down and it was zeros. So it had cut me off, and I don't know at what point, but it was because I ran out of space. And I rented a movie off of iTunes, because you can watch it when you're not in Wi-Fi as long as you start it when you're still in Wi-Fi. So I download it, because Starbucks Wi-Fi is faster. The library takes all day. You'd be there 4 hours. The Ralph's is the same way, but you can't charge like 4 devices at Starbucks, but their Wi-Fi is the fastest. So I go there to download the movies, but the movie was taking up the space. So I deleted the movie, and now I can babble on, but I don't know where it ended, and now I'm not even sure what I was talking about. Oh, about Ellen. I don't know if I even got that in, but I was talking about another thing that happened on Ellen last night of not knowing how long you were talking and being cut off on a phone on the other end. Like, you're like, hello? Hello? And then being scared then to have a real long conversation. You're always like checking in with the person. But it happened with the video, because I looked down and it had cut me off. I couldn't have been that far in, but I'm exhausting myself. Just because I want to. The whole point of doing this was to tell you my story from pretty much the beginning, because I've written it all out. Just because I'm trying to decipher who I told this story, who could be involved, and like when you think of a true crime novel, and well, I read mystery and stuff like that to entertain myself, because I can't watch movies. I mean, I get like one movie every so often, and here lately every day, because I got someone sent me a movie blessing. Like, I complained because I had a movie credit that I'd been saving, and then a movie came out. I wanted to use the credit, and I had apparently did a free trial on HBO, and then it took the credit, and I had a meltdown because of that. It was the straw that broke the back that day. And because I posted that on Facebook, Angie Roberts is her name, but she sent me a movie credit, and then I got my credit because I called Apple and they gave me my credit back, no problem. Plus 3 free movie credits I saw on there for less than $3.99. But anyways, so I'm able to watch more movies. See, that's my point. I get off. I read crime novels. So what I was going to say is that when you're trying to figure out what could possibly... Okay, because if you could imagine, which I'm not... I know this is going to sound arrogant, like I'm putting myself on the level of Steve Jobs or somebody else. But before Steve Jobs was Steve Jobs, all the problems he had with IBM, all the things that he had to change to do his own company, and the battles he had with the people he originally started with. Like, I don't have my ideas protected. Not my lyrics, which are for days. Any thing I've written in my books, any of my documentary, any of my business idea, my business plan. And I shouldn't put that out there, because now, if it's not stolen, it could be. Anyway, because I put a lot of stuff out there for free. Because I learned once upon a time, I'm sitting on things that I think knowledge is powerful. I think because everything you do comes from how you think and the way you look at the same thing. And if I can offer food for thought that is just out there like everything else is, because I don't hear anybody else saying or connecting the dots like this, and that's what I called myself yesterday. I was like, we're the dot connectors, back when I was just yesterday still saying we, because I was trying to see in that conversation, like I was trying to really focus on how we talk and the things he says and all this. And at the end of the conversation, I had decided, after thinking it through and praying after it, I gotta sever this, at least until I do make it, and then I can go back and say my apologies if I was wrong, and hopefully people will allow me to do that. But just right now, I'm feeling very vulnerable because of things that have already happened, that are tangible, that have happened, and then based on what's unexplainable, and that my gut no longer will allow me to let go of. I guess I should just get to the point, or start to get to the point of why I started this video, which was going to require a blunt. I guess I should sit up here. I spend a lot of time sitting down there looking out, like, what am I going to do? I have a dog. Like, let me explain to you first. I have Gigi. How do you expect me to go to an interview? You think I can just find someone to watch my dog? You don't understand how many frenemies I have formed. People don't like people who want to audit nonprofit companies when you have met, rely on, and talk to people from those type of organizations. Same thing with revealing about, because I'm unbiased, so I reveal the bad things about homelessness and those who are homeless, or not bad, but just the truth. So it's not all like, oh, I'm pointing the finger at the other side, it's like just saying the whole scope of it. It's cause and effect. I'm just trying to point out what causes it, like the cause and effect, and then what we can do about it, what I propose we do. And that's just connecting the dots of people and coming together, because there are a lot of people without jobs. There are a lot of people who want to build their own visions, been going to school to develop their own talents, that would like to pour that into and have more control and power over how they work, how much they work for, who they work for, all of that. We should have that empowerment. And I want to, just come together and build something with those people, and no one's like the owner. Anyway, I don't want to get into the scope of the business until much, much later, because every day I'm going to post videos until I run out of space, delete those videos, and keep talking until I get to the point of how I'm in this van rolling this blunt right now, because I'm going to tell my side of the story. I don't know what people are saying, if they're saying anything. If people have stopped caring about me altogether, then that's fine too, but I'm going to say it even if no one ever listens to me, because that's where I'm at. I'm left with no one to trust, no one to talk to, and nothing but what the fuck is going on in my head at the end of, like, all I have is time to think and relive and rehash all these different experiences, because I haven't been just in the same place doing the same thing. I've been doing different stuff with different people for a very long time. And so I'm trying to, and you don't make a lot of friends when you talk about Jesus the way I do. You have to understand how many people don't really like me. For the people who do like me, they like me a lot. The people who don't like me want to kill me. It feels like, anyway. And they want to do it in a way without actually having to kill me. Like, I think that's what they'll resort to if they have to, seriously, is putting a bullet in me. Like, let this message out. Look what they did to Tupac. Look what anyone who tries to speak against the government. And I said something like, I don't even want to, I think about the things that could possibly happen. And that's what makes me, I'm not scared, because, look at anyone who tries to do anything good or stand up with a good message, look what happens to them. Excuse me. So obviously that's probably good, because they want to get to, anyone who believes in the other side wants to get to the other side. And that's the place you want to be. That's what Paul was debating when he was under the tree, like, I don't know what's better, like, if it's better for you if I stay on this side, because he's close to dying. Meaning better for the people, better for them, because he can help keep, be like a shepherd to the sheep. But he was saying it's better for me if I go to heaven and go to be with my Lord. And so that's the way you look at it, is it's win-win, because you go full out for your purpose, and if it works, that's a win. But if it doesn't, and you die in the process somehow, or, whatever, that's a win too. But you go hard, and that's the whole point of the whole game, I believe. I look at it as a video game, like defeating the dragon. But because of that, I hate that it will taint my message because of my human, fleshly behavior. The hypocrisy that people complain about in the church. Oh, they would go haywire about my hypocrisy, rolling a blunt right now and talking about Jesus. I'm a demon! Right? So for me, it's more important to change the perception about how we look at Jesus, and how we, not how we look at Jesus, but yes, also, not how we look at Jesus, just more how we see those who call themselves Christian, the mold, the idea of what we have in our mind about who a Christian is, I don't think is something that can be like across the board. I think Christians look differently because we're at all different stages in our belief, and in that, like, we say in church, it doesn't happen overnight. Jesus moves in and slowly kind of works on different things, and it's over time. It's not like, I am going to stop smoking weed. He removes that desire. He replaces that habit with something healthier, or, a better medicine or a better way, like CBD drops for smoking. I've developed more of the habit to the spliff and the smoking probably than the weed. The weed too, because it keeps me calm, but I haven't talked about why I gotta stop now, but anyways, don't get off track. It's so hard for me to stay focused. Because I really did just lose my train of thought. In the beginning, I was wanting to tell my story, so I'm going to get to that. Every time I go to, I end up talking about something else. I grew up in a small town, Harvard City, Indiana, in the country, not this town. So I didn't have any neighbors. Like, my closest neighbor was a quarter-mile away. My best friend growing up all throughout lower years, there was times in school we were closer with other people and friends, but she lived probably a mile away. And so I spent a lot of my childhood with her, and it was innocent as can be. We obviously have, like, video games, very much TV. I had, like, 55, 33, 21, which was, like, 6, 8, and 13. I don't know. Country channels, you can't get cable in the country. And they just got satellite, my parents, or my mom and stepdad, not too long ago. And, so we played outside, and there were cornfields and beans, and I grew up, like, knocking down stalks and playing in the corn and barns, and there was Audrey, that's her name, had a creek across the street. Actually, I have to change the names, don't I, to talk about people. Boo. I don't. Goldilocks. No. I don't want to name people. This is stupid. But anyway, okay. So the friend, we'll call her the best friend, I had a little cabin thing across the street. It wasn't hers, it was her neighbor. I think it was Wilma. What were their names? Bob and... God. They were her closest neighbors, lived in the greenhouse, but anyway. We played over in it. We played under the train tracks. Dependable Transit was my uncle's trucking company that was like a mile and a half away from my house, but in the country, and that's where my mom worked. And there was a path at the back of that trucking company that led along the train track, so we'd play under that train track. And there was like a little, not creek, but, it wasn't very deep, but we would put rocks, build a rock bridge across that. Like, I'm just trying to paint a very innocent picture because that's how it was. That's how I grew up. So we ride our bikes into town in the summer, and that was like 7 miles away, so that took a while, but we would just talk and lay out on Audrey's, or on the best friend's roof, and like, it was just really good childhood, pretty much, in that regard. I was dealing with some issues with the divorce. I don't want to back up this far.